to the RS Technical Solutions Tech Talk. I'm your host, Miguel Godino from RS Americas, and today we're going to be talking with Phoenix Contact on their wireless solutions and how they're able to solve cable replacement applications. So, with our very special guest joining us virtually here, Danny, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, I'm Danny Walters, and I am the marketing specialist for our wireless products here at Phoenix Contact. I'm responsible for everything from Wi-Fi to cellular and everything in between.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Danny. I'm really excited to have you here. So, to kick off this topic of wireless and cable replacement solutions, what do you think customers should first look for when identifying cable replacement opportunities? Any examples of when they should consider this option?
Yeah, so I think there's two things to really consider when you're thinking about cable replacement. The first big thing is going to be, when does running cable or trenching cable become impractical or expensive? So an example of times where it might be impractical is think of maybe an AGV or something that moves. Having an object moving around your facility with a cable attached to it becomes pretty impractical fairly quickly. Another time it might be something else you might want to consider is, is it difficult to route those cables or those wires around your machine, around your factory? Maybe there's just not a great way to get those cables around.
Right.
And then the other thing is, when running cable or routing cable can be very expensive. So if you're going to trench cable, it can cost anywhere from $10 to $40 a foot to trench cable outdoors. So very quickly the cost can add up. And then the second big thing that you want to consider when thinking about, hey, when might I need a solution for cable replacement is, thinking about how often do those cables break down, and with that, what's the cost to repair or replace those cables? And then also on top of that, what's the cost of downtime? You're not just replacing a cable. You're not just paying for the replacement of the cable, but you're also paying for the downtime for your system or your machine.
Well, that's really great examples of what to look for cable replacement opportunities. Thank you for that, Danny. Now, with opportunities identified or an opportunity identified, why should customers consider working with Phoenix Contact on these types of cable replacement or wireless applications?
Yeah, great question. So Phoenix, I would say that we've been involved with wireless products for decades, and we are continually innovating and developing solutions for wireless solutions for today and for tomorrow. In addition to that, Phoenix is a quality brand that can be trusted. We stand by our products, and I would say that the limited lifetime warranty is a great example of that. If you're not familiar with our limited lifetime warranty, simply put, it states that if you use our power supplies and our surge protection, we
Mhm.
will guarantee for life, more or less, any
Yeah,
Phoenix product downstream of that power supply.
awesome.
So I would say, that same level of quality and commitment to developing, robust solutions carries over to our wireless portfolio as well. We maintain that same level of quality.
Gotcha. Well, something that you mentioned is, or something that I want to talk about is that Phoenix Contact has a variety of wireless technologies, right? So, can you explain to us what these wireless technologies are and how they could be helpful in certain applications?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say today, I would like to focus on, focus on three of our wireless technologies.
Okay.
One being Wi-Fi, the other being what we call trusted wireless, and we'll get into more about what exactly that is. And
Mhm.
then the other one is going to be Bluetooth. So Wi-Fi, we're all familiar with Wi-Fi. You've probably used Wi-Fi in your homes or in your office.
Mhm.
Well, on the factory floor or in industrial settings, there are use cases for Wi-Fi as well. So, really like with the things that I mentioned before of when is running cable expensive or when is it not practical to use wires. Wi-Fi can help alleviate can help alleviate those problems and be a good solution or a good option for those. Wi-Fi is going to use the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz spectrum or frequency bands,
Mhm.
if you're familiar with those. In trusted wireless, like I mentioned, is a proprietary wireless technology that we developed here at Phoenix Contact that's used by one of our products that we'll talk about. And then Bluetooth, similar to Wi-Fi, you're probably familiar with Bluetooth. You use it with your Bluetooth speakers, maybe a Bluetooth headset. different things around your home. Well, in the factory space, industrial space, there are applications where Bluetooth may be used as well.
Mm. Well, thank you for explaining those wireless technologies from Phoenix Contact. And it's also really good to hear that Phoenix Contact has a variety of options when it comes to wireless technologies. Um, now, now that we understand these technologies, can you touch on some products that use these technologies and how they can help with cable replacement applications?
Yeah, so first I'd like to talk about Radioline. So like I mentioned, Radioline uses a proprietary wireless protocol called Trusted Wireless that we developed here at Phoenix Contact. The frequency that Radioline uses is 900 megahertz band. And simply put, Radioline, we like to call it the wireless terminal block. Radioline is designed to be as reliable as a terminal block.
Mm.
And so with Radioline, it's going to have a range of up to 20 miles, and it's going to be great for solutions where you have to pass sensor data back and forth. So Radioline is great for SCADA applications. Think of maybe water, wastewater, or other outdoor applications where you need to pass I/O data. And like I said, like I mentioned earlier about it being expensive to run cables, Radioline is a great solution for applications like that. Radioline is robust. It is reliable. And another thing about it is that it's depending on how you use it, it can actually be plug and play. It's not required to use software. So that's one of the great features about Radioline is that while it is powerful and it can do some more advanced and complicated things, it can also be very plug and play, and it is very user friendly, very straightforward to use. So it's a great option for solutions like that. For trusted wireless. The second product I'll talk about is our WLAN 4321. Now, our WLAN 4321, WLAN stands for Wireless Local Area Network. That is, it's going to use Wi-Fi is effectively what it's going to do. And the 4321, it is a long-range Ethernet bridge, and so it's got a range of 2 miles. And it is plug and play. Really, all you do is you connect power to it, you connect your data cable, you connect your Ethernet cable to it, you point the radios at one another, and they just start talking. So they technically do talk via Wi-Fi, but they don't. It's a more or less a locked down type of Wi-Fi, to where you're not going to see a wireless, Wi-Fi network generated if you pull up your Wi-Fi or your iPhone and you try to scan for networks and that sort of thing. There's no configuration that's needed. And so the 4321 is great for applications where you need to tie networks together, or tie Ethernet devices together that are a longer range apart, so or longer distance apart. So one example might be, let's say you have a guard shack on your at your facility or on the property, and you need to tie that guard shack back into the network for your building. You could put one of the WLAN radios on the guard shack and another one on your main building. And like I mentioned before, there's no configuration needed. You just point those radios at each other. They're prepared, and they'll just start talking. And it is a very quick and easy process. And what you've done is you've tied in that guard shack back to your building. Or maybe you scale it up, and let's say let's say you have 2 buildings on your property, and you want to tie the networks from those 2 buildings together. The 4321 could be used for that as well, to where you can tie those networks together wirelessly, and you don't have to trench the cable and spend all the money doing that.
Gotcha.
And then
Well,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry, good. And then the last product I'll talk about is our Bluetooth MUX product. And basically what it is it's a pair of remote IO blocks, or we like to call them bus couplers. And they have Bluetooth radios built into them, and they are pre-paired together. And so these are great for when you need to send IO signals back and forth, maybe on 2 different parts of a machine, or even between 2 different parts of your facility. But they come prepared, like the 4321 does.
Yeah.
So each of these remote IO blocks has a couple IO points on it. You get digital and analog IO points. And so you turn the radios on, they just start talking to one another, and you wire your whatever IO points, whatever sensors and actuators and devices you have wired up to those input and output points. The IO blocks will just pass those IO signals back and forth without you having to do anything. A great application for this would be like drag chain replacement. Drag chains they break, they're expensive to maintain and to deal with, but the Bluetooth MUX modules can be a great solution for getting around the cumbersome and expensive nature of drag chains.
Well, it's really amazing to hear all that Phoenix has to offer when it comes to cable replacement and wireless applications, and a lot of great products I'm hearing. I have used these before in the past and showed customers these, so I know how amazing they are and how easy they are to set up, just like you said. Now, one last thing I want to touch on is security and reliability of these products. How does
Mhm.
Phoenix Contact ensure those things on these wireless systems, especially in a sensitive industrial setting?
Yeah. So the security and reliability, those are great things to be concerned about. Definitely important topics to keep in mind as you're designing a system and as you're deploying products. And those are two things that we talk about and focus on regularly here at Phoenix Contact. So when it comes to reliability, I already previously I did mention the limited lifetime warranty and just the overall quality and robustness of our products. So that's one big thing when we talk about reliability and of our wireless products. But I would say, another thing I would emphasize is, let's take Radioline for example. Radioline does have mechanisms built into it that allow it to hop between different sub frequencies, basically. And what that does is at any given time, Radioline is it's not transmitting at one specific frequency. It's or at the same frequency all the time. It's technically hopping around, and what that does is it helps reduce the chances for interference. And what that means for customers is their radios are more reliable. There's less chance of interference, and the system stays up and communicates for
Mhm.
longer. Another feature with Radioline, for example, that I'd like to point out is that Radioline has the ability to, if you use software, you can actually go into the radio and you can tell it to avoid specific frequencies if you know that those frequencies are noisy. If there's like a lot of interference in your environment on certain frequencies, you can tell Radioline to just completely skip over those frequencies as it's hopping around through its hopping pattern, so that you completely eliminate the chance of dealing with interference on those frequencies. Another feature about when it comes to security, our products do use encryption. So, Wi-Fi, for example, it does. Our Wi-Fi products do support the standard Wi-Fi encryption for their versions of Wi-Fi that they deploy. Radioline as well does have encryption that that plays into that is in addition to the fact that Radioline is a proprietary protocol. So, just because someone here might, pick up radio line signals
Right.
passed back and forth, it is a proprietary protocol that they're not going to be able to understand and
Mhm.
pick apart easily. So, with radio line, there are multiple levels of security as well.
Well, really great to hear all the products that Phoenix Contact has to offer at its disposal and how they could make cable replacement easy for many industrial applications out there. Well, Danny, that pretty much answers all the questions I had for you today. But before we signed out, where would you recommend our viewers to learn more about Phoenix Contact and their wireless solutions?
Yeah, so I would encourage customers to check out the, cable replacement landing page on
Mm.
RS's website. It really it'll talks about all of the products that we talked about today. So it's a quick, easy resource for you. You can also check out the, Phoenix Contact website, where you can
Mm.
find information on all of our products. And then if you want a more in-person touch, I would highly encourage you to reach out to your local Phoenix or RS sales engineer to discuss
Right.
cable replacement and wireless solutions further.
Well, thank you for that, Danny. Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would just, thank you for, I just want to thank RS for hosting us. It was fun to talk about cable replacement, and I hope that the information that we presented today will help customers solve,
Yeah.
pain points and save them money and save them time and help them, deploy more robust solutions.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for your time, Danny, going over Phoenix Contact solutions for wireless and cable replacement applications. And I hope our viewers learned a little bit more about Phoenix Contact and their wireless solutions. And to our viewers, Thank you for watching. Remember to check out RS and Phoenix Contact for your future wireless or cable replacement applications. And we'll go ahead and catch you next time on the RS Technical Solutions Tech Talk. Thank you.
Thank you.